I'm with Oklahoma Able Tech. I'm a program manager, and I'm really excited about kind of giving you an overview of Able Tech. So on the line also with Able Tech is Kimberly Berry. She's going to kind of give me some technical support. I wanted to share with you this PowerPoint and kind of go through the basic Able Tech services. As you know, Able Tech is a statewide program. We are funded federally through the Assistive Technology Act program, a federal law. Our lead agency is also the Department of Health and Human Services. The Administration for Community Living is our federal funder. And there's a Assistive Technology Act program in every state and territory. So there's 56 altogether. In Oklahoma, the lead agency just happens to be Oklahoma State University. And in each state, that lead agency is designated originally by the governor. So they're kind of located in different offices or state government entities. Part of the Assistive Technology Act that was passed or amended in 2004 laid out the required activities of the Assistive Technology Act programs. And they have 4 state-level activities that are required and 3 state leadership activities. And I'm going to describe those. And our mission at Able Tech is to enhance the access to and acquisition of assistive technology. We serve all ages, all disabilities statewide. So as you guys can imagine, that's a pretty big chunk of people. And it's challenging with a little few dollars. So we're like you, we're very, very creative about how we can help people get the assistive technology they need. On this front picture, you'll see Charlotte. She went into one of our demonstration centers and borrowed and was demonstrated this iPhone or this cell phone device that will light up when her cell phone rings, and it also connects to a bed shaker. So she's able to now be able to feel secure in her home at night because she can hear her phone calls. Because her hearing, she uses a cochlear implant, takes it out at night, and so she has no functional hearing all night long. So now she knows she can be awake, be alerted when her cell phone goes off. When I talk about assistive technology, I try to say, well, what is it? Because a lot of people might think it's just kind of computer stuff or, you know, technical speech communication devices and things, but it really is. AT is any device or piece of equipment that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of people with disabilities. AT is also a service, and that directly assists persons with a disability in the selection, acquisition, or use of the AT device. Now, this is really critical. So what the feds did in the law, the Assistive Technology Act law, is they said not only is the device a very, very important to that person, but if the device is the wrong device, if the person doesn't have any way to evaluate what kind of device to get, if it's going to work, how to maintain it, how to, you know, get it repaired, how to replace it, how to learn how to use it. Those are all the types of critical needs that you'll have if you have a device. And that's not true with everything, because a lot of assistive technology is very low-tech kinds of devices. And we at Able Tech will encourage people to pick the kind of device that will meet their needs. And it could be very low-tech to very high-tech. The other point I want to make as we talk about assistive technology and Able Tech services is that I want you to be aware that we don't have the funding to directly provide an assistive technology device for a person. So if an individual calls up and says, I need a wheelchair, I can't run out and buy him a wheelchair with ATAC dollars. And so that's why the other piece to this is so critical, that we connect people to all kinds of programs and services, plus we are able to then coordinate and collaborate with people like Aging Services. You guys do all kinds of things, and we get calls every day that we may direct people to you based on the services that you're providing in your area. So it's really very helpful to understand and know how we can collaborate together. So one of the state level activities, the first one is a device demonstration. We provide a room. Here's the room at our Sarah-Teen Wellness Center, but we have also other partners that have demonstration centers. And it allows an individual or a small group of people to explore what's available. So the staff involved in a device demonstration should provide you guided experience. It's not like when I stand up in front of 50 people in a room in a presentation and I show them a reacher, that's going to be a demonstration, because I need to provide in every opportunity for a guided experience. In other words, you get to touch it, feel it, hold it, try it. The specific device, it's going to be for a specific device or group of devices, and it promotes effective usage. And the big part of a demonstration is to provide some informed decision making. And what we really want to do in our device demonstrations is let people become aware of the possibilities of AT. It's really a critical function of beginning to make decisions about what will work for me. The other state level activity that AbleTech does is a device short-term loan program. It's designed for individuals or organizations for the purpose of to try before you buy. This is a lending library of assistive technology. AbleTech has almost 3,000 to 4,000 devices that we have purchased with our AT dollars and that we loan out for anywhere from, it depends on the device, 2 to 6 week time period. This allows individuals to actually have the device in their hands, take it home, use it in their home, their church, their job, in school, wherever they need it. So how that works is that we can also provide it through an accommodation. So this is a try before you buy, but we also provide loans based on accommodation. So what I mean by that is if you're going to do a presentation in one of your areas and someone has requested a hearing device, an amplification system so that they'll be able to hear you. Well, you could borrow that amplification system from us so that you could use it for that meeting, and that would be providing an accommodation. It can also be used as a loaner while the device is being repaired, and we also loan out devices for personnel development and activities. This certainly is true with, for example, we will loan out devices to special education directors of special education services. So a whole school district or a group of speech language pathologists can have access to the devices under personnel development. AbleTech provides all of these loans. This lending library of assistive technology is all provided at no cost to the consumer. Most loans are for 42 calendar days, and all the devices are shipped statewide with a return shipping label provided. So when I say no cost, I really mean no cost. You can apply to a loan request for a device either online or call our number. We have, we'll get you the form, the loan request form out to you, and you complete that loan request form, send it in, and we can ship that anywhere in the state. All right, well, that's a really important service, and it really can happen statewide. I'll tell you, most of the things we're going to loan out, and you can go to our website, and under our services, you can go to loan, you can look at our entire inventory of devices that we have. And so most of them are obviously going to be what I call shippable. In other words, they're going to fit in a box, be able to get shipped to you with a return label so you can ship it back. So we don't tend to have in our loan library durable medical equipment such as wheelchairs, hospital beds, things like that, really big durable medical equipment, shower chairs. Those are not within our device short-term loan program. Most of the things we're going to do are going to be, easy to ship and handleable, and that where people can handle it. And so that's really important to remember. we don't have every single possibility of an assistive technology device in our loan program. We try to meet the needs of our customers and our requests as best as possible. But as you all know, we've got limited funds too. I mentioned that AbleTech has several demonstration centers, and we have AbleTech, we call them the AbleTech partners. And these partners, all of them have a demonstration center where if you call and make arrangements to come in, they can demonstrate a whole wide array of devices for you. And some of them have devices for short-term equipment loan. Now, unlike AbleTech, our partners do not ship out their equipment. If somebody needs something far distance from their location, then they'll just refer it to us, and you guys will be able to borrow it from the AbleTech site. But if you're in Oklahoma City or Tulsa and you're in one of their locations, then generally speaking, you'll be able to borrow that device right then and there. Some of our partners are the Alzheimer's Association of Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City chapter, and they're new to our organization, and we've really had fun looking at devices in the focus on the devices we provided to Alzheimer's Association is not based on the individual with Alzheimer's. It's truly based on the needs of the caregiver. How can we help? What kinds of assistive technology would help the caregiver so that their person they're caring for is more independent? So those were the kinds of things we looked at for Alzheimer's Association. They don't have a loan program. All of their devices are for demonstration only, but if you have something demonstrated by the Alzheimer's Association, you can certainly borrow it from AbleTech. Hearing Loss Association of Central Oklahoma is located in Oklahoma City. That organization is all volunteer. They have no paid staff. They operate a hearing helper room in which people, certain hours of the day, can come in and they'll demonstrate all different types of hearing devices for people that are deaf or hard of hearing. They also have a loan program, so people can borrow pocket talkers and amplification systems and phone amplifiers, also equipment that would alert you through a bread shaker or other kinds of notifications. So, and what I really like about Hearing Loss Association is they are able to, they all use the assistive technology. Every single volunteer in that organization uses some form of assistive technology. New View of Oklahoma City and Tulsa, their focus, of course, is vision, low vision, blindness, and they also serve people statewide. So they can bring out devices. If you're been referring people to New View and they go statewide to that person's home, they can take different devices to that person to demonstrate, and a few items they can loan out. The Children's Center for and Rehabilitation Hospital, located in Bethany, Oklahoma. Of course, they're going to work mostly with children, but they do have a demonstration center, and you could call them about some very specific devices. Pathways Therapy Center in Tulsa, again, for the most part, they serve children. However, they can serve all ages. Their specialty tends to be, they're doing occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech language pathology. So their kinds of devices are going to fall within that range. More Autism Center is also a new partner, and as you can imagine, they're serving children with autism, and so they have devices that can be demonstrated to help different various children on the spectrum, autism spectrum disorder. We also partner with OSU, Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders. They can demonstrate assistive technology, speech communication devices to their clinicians and their clients. And then Center Start is one of our really big partners. They serve children birth to 3 years old statewide. They have demonstration kits so that when they go into the home, and you guys, I know you're talking all the time about how grandparents are raising their grandchildren. Well, grandparents, if those children have a disability and they're birth to 3, they really need to know to connect them into Center Start. So those grandparents may be involved with the assistive technology that's demonstrated to their grandkids in the home through the Center Start personnel. So even though it looks like we're just serving birth to 3 in that one, for many of you that are dealing with the grandparents that are raising grandkids, it can make a difference. The third state level activity is called reutilization. AbleTech does reutilization of equipment in two different ways. We have one is the Oklahoma Equipment Exchange. That provides a listing of pre-owned equipment for sale or donation. And the website allows buyers and sellers of AT to connect in a classified ads electronic environment. I know that several of the area agencies on aging contact Diana Sargent, our lead person at the Equipment Exchange, on a regular basis. And one of the reasons why is because we're connected to some organizations that can provide us medical supplies and equipment that they no longer need or use. So we oftentimes may get like cases of diapers that are not opened, or tubing that's not opened, or different kinds of obvious medical supplies that then we can donate out to individuals. On the Oklahoma Equipment Exchange, we do need, if it's going to go outside the city, Oklahoma City or Stillwater, generally speaking, in order for that person to have that device shipped to them, they'll need to pay for the postage or shipping handling charges. But it's not like $19.99. It's actually based on, their shipping charges are based on actual cost to AbleTech. Again, I would really encourage you to go to the oklahomaabletech.org site. The exchange site there, you can search it based on like daily living kinds of items, or we have listed obviously mobility, so sometimes there's wheelchairs listed. We have some people, individual sellers want to list their modified vehicle on the exchange, so that, because if somebody's trying to sell a modified vehicle, it's kind of a specialized population. So we can, as we work with people, we can direct them towards that exchange site. And that is at no cost to either the buyer or seller. And when the seller is in fact an individual citizen of the state of Oklahoma wanting to sell used equipment that they no longer need, then all of that arrangement is between the buyer and the seller. AbleTech is not in the middle of that. When AbleTech gets in the middle of it is when somebody donates equipment directly to AbleTech. Then we kind of quote the seller. However, it's obviously at no cost. The other
we had a few questions before we move on.
Good.
You want to pause just a second? Well, one question you already answered was, what is the AbleTech website? So you've said that, okay, abletech.org. The other question was, what is the most requested loan device? And I believe that's for the short-term loan program.
Yes. For the short-term loan program, it's easy. It's an iPad. We have, I think the last count I had, almost 100 iPads that we loan out. Most of them go obviously to school districts. However, again, it can be any age, any disability statewide. So they're not designated only for school kids. And iPads, why it's iPads is because we can work with the person about, do they need apps for cognitive reasons, for remembering, for alarms and contacts and calendars and all those kinds of things that could help a person with memory challenges. But also we do iPads for people that have vision and are blind, because we can download digital books and textbooks to let them try having all of that material read aloud to them. So we have specialized apps for that. And then the third main reason why we do iPads is for speech communication. So they become a speech generating device for all ages of people, particularly like, for example, individuals that have had a stroke and can no longer voice or can't construct their communication effectively. So iPads are our number one item. Number two item are other speech generating devices. And the really reason is because the need to try before you buy on a speech generating device is really critical, because they're going to be so specialized based on the individual need. we have a speech language pathologist, actually 2 on staff. They can consult with local speech language pathologists about how, what's the benefits and features of various speech generating devices. Hope that answers that question. Next, Kimberly.
You bet.
Okay.
Keep the questions coming, everybody.
All right. So with that, I'm going to go on to the device reuse. It is, it's called the Oklahoma Durable Medical Equipment Reuse Program, OCTMR for short. But it's also, their office is actually located in Oklahoma City. They are funded through the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority, the state Medicaid agency. And what those funds do allows AbleTech to retrieve, refurbish, and repair if needed, and reassign durable medical equipment at no cost. Now, this program, the Retrieve, is to accept donations. So the whole basis of this program is it's critical that we have donated durable medical equipment, or otherwise we don't have any equipment to give away. So this is one of the areas where I really hope that AbleTech and the Aging Services can really kind of come up with some ideas or collaborations, because you may know of people in your area that no longer need whatever it is. Was it the electric scooter? Was it the hospital bed? Was it the wheelchair or the walker, a rollator? Those kinds of things we're always desperate to receive, because the people that need the devices that are on our waiting list are a lot higher than our donations. So you can call if you have any information. Again, you can go to our website. It tells you how to contact them if you want to donate an item. Also, if you need to apply to receive an item, that phone number is 405-523-4810. Now, I've kind of gone through this, but what we do is we retrieve the valuable DME that no longer needed. We refurbish it, so we get it all cleaned up. And in fact, we have a fancy washer that we actually, it's kind of like a dishwasher for wheelchairs and other medical equipment, but we actually totally clean and sanitize every piece of equipment. And then if it needs a repair, a major repair, then we can, if it's feasible financially, I'll put it that way, we can pay for a certified medical equipment vendor to repair the device, and then we reassign it. And we do that through, we match the equipment. So first and foremost, the devices that are donated to the Durable Medical Equipment Reuse Program for the first 60 days are set aside for Sooner Care members only. And that's because, guess who's, Healthcare Authority is paying the bill. So they have priority. But if an item is on our list, waiting list for more, not waiting list, but on our availability list, on day 61, it goes to the general public. So it can go to individuals that are not on Medicaid. In order to get on the waiting list, everyone must complete an application. Again, those are on our website. We can mail those out to individuals. We can, so you can either apply directly online or download the application and to be able to apply. I want you to note on that website, it will tell you specifically the items that require a doctor's prescription and or in some cases an evaluation. Now, I'll give you an example. A shower and chair and a bench, shower bench, those are not going to require a doctor's prescription. But anything that's weight bearing, like wheelchairs and scooters and walkers, we're going to require a doctor's prescription. We need to make sure that it is medically necessary. And in some cases, with some of our items, we also require an evaluation so that we know we're getting the right device to the right person. For example, we provide CPAPs and nebulizers. Well, for CPAPs, we require a sleep study before we're going to give that to someone. The cool thing about this program is pick up and delivery, available within 65 miles of Oklahoma City. Others can drop off or pick up or coordinate with other programs. So So we've never said no to Enid or some places, the far corners of Oklahoma, when people want to donate. We have several partners that we try to coordinate with to be able to get those devices in so that we can reassign them. We also, although we deliver statewide, for some of our items, they can ship statewide. So it's but we will work with you. If you call us, we promise we'll work with you on trying to get the items retrieved or reassigned.
Melissa, we have a question about how the time limit. Is there a time limit for the use of these items, of the durable medical equipment? And also, does it become the client's property, or does it stay, belong to Oklahoma Healthcare Authority, perhaps?
Basically, it's going to be as long as needed. And so if the item is still usable and in good condition, because we don't really want anybody to have a whole bunch of old junk. We want it to be nice and we want it to be in working order. So if they're no longer needing it and it's still in good working condition, we really want them to donate it back to us. But technically, those items are for the individual. So they become the property of the individual. So there's no time limit. Some of them only need it for a short time. And again, we would encourage them to redonate it back to us so that we can get it out to somebody else in need.
And this is different than our short-term loan program, which is generally about 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah, the short-term equipment loan program is definitely that. It's a lending library, and we have to get those devices back within that loan period of usually 6 weeks. We have to get all of that equipment back because that is not intended for permanent use. And again, remember the Assistive Technology Act dollar paid for it. And we can't provide directly, so we can't give it to a person indefinitely. Whereas this equipment has been donated, it doesn't, and therefore it doesn't have the same type of ties to it, and it can be more permanent. So the types of equipment offered are bath benches, blood pressure monitors, commodes, CPAPs, gait trainers, hospital beds, knee walkers, nebulizers, patient lifts, quad canes, scooters, shower chairs, standards, walkers, and wheelchairs. Now I want to tell you, for example, on the hospital beds, we do not provide the mattress. On the CPAPs and or nebulizers, we're not going to provide the tubing. So people will have some investment in this. But it's free to apply. If you're applying for something that requires a prescription, then that has to come in with the application. For most devices right now, we have a waiting list, and we'll put people on the waiting list, and we take them off by Sooner Care members first when something comes in. But we're going to really try to work with everybody on this. Any other questions?
I don't see any questions in the chat right now.
Okay. The last program is our financial loan program, and it's we partner with Oklahoma Assistive Technology Foundation and Bank First of Stillwater. We currently are providing a 5 or sometimes a 6% fixed interest rate loan to buy AT. So basically, this is a financial loan at a 5% fixed rate for people to borrow money to buy the AT they need. The number one item that we use in this program that people are buying with borrowed money is hearing aids. And as you guys all know, that's because Medicare and Medicaid do not buy hearing aids for adults. So it's also very costly, but a $3,000 to $6,000 set of hearing aids, if you divide that loan up into 24 monthly payments, it can be very affordable. So that's our number one thing, but we also do modified vehicles, we can do wheelchairs, we can do all kinds of things. When people come to our loan program, they come to AbleTech first, and we help them with the application process. We have really much more flexible underwriting rules than, say, a commercial bank or a credit card. We're assuming that you're going to get this device at a much cheaper interest rate over time, so that it can make it more affordable. And for people that don't qualify for Bank First loans, then the OKAT can guarantee those loans for qualified applicants. Then also AbleTech's working with OKAT to do direct lending. So for some loans, there won't be any closing cost. There's no fees involved. And the person can borrow up to 100% of the device amount. How we work this is that if on either for Bank First loans or OKAT loans, the way we work that is once the person's been approved for the loan amount check is actually cut directly to the vendor and not to the individual. And again, the vendor has to be for AT. Our state leadership activities include training and technical assistance, public awareness and statewide information referral, and coordination and collaboration. And as you can tell, we've done that a lot with a lot of people. We have our toll-free number, and I can't believe I didn't put it up on this slide. It's on the back slide, and it's on our website, 800-257-1705. And we help people all day, every day about where they can find assistive technology, who provides appropriate evaluations or assessments, and how to fund AT. Somebody that would call up and say, I need a wheelchair, then we may be able to walk them through what programs they may be eligible for in order to purchase that. And then we connect individuals with disabilities to other programs. Hence, particularly Aging Services is a great example. We have other statewide initiatives that include AT for special education students. Right now, AbleTech has a contract with the State Department of Education, and we provide training and consultations to special education teachers, professionals, and even parents. So that's really been a real big program to help students in special education receive the AT they need. We do a workforce for all with the Department of Rehabilitation Services. We have information and communication technology accessibility, and we have a free smoke alarm installation program. Although right now we've met our FEMA goal. That is funded through FEMA on a competitive grant. We have met our goal, and so at this point we're still accepting applications. However, those individuals, all new applicants, will be put on a waiting list because we don't have funds to install them at this time. I want to talk about how people know to choose the right AT. And AT selection should be based upon individual need. And so, whether it's a pencil grip or really technical, communication devices, eye gaze, for example, it's really important to be based on an individual. And a team approach is usually best. And of course, and you guys, they don't maybe have a team. Maybe they're working with their caregiver or their spouse or their children and their physician. So it's often challenging to try to get different kinds of approaches for individuals that need assistive technology that are aging or receiving aging services. But I think still it goes back to use your community resources of physical therapists or audiologists or all kinds of professionals within your community that may be able to help you. They may be introduced to AT several times before they're willing to try it. Every time I get my iPhone update, I'm not really thrilled about it. But as time goes by, I totally disregarded that I kind of went through some misery first. So considering environmental adaptations before purchasing a device. For example, NewView and others, for people with low vision, they'll be describing how to make sure your lighting is effective, how to make sure, because that can make a huge difference, or the contrast of the back screen or anything. So try to use your environment first without purchasing anything to see if it will work. And then, of course, focus on the practical use of the device for simplicity. You want to be able to try it before you buy it, if that's at all possible. So I always recommend starting with AbleTech to see if we have the device for you to borrow on our short-term equipment loan. the common areas of assistive technology. And I wanted you to have this information, particularly as you help people on our website. When you're searching our short-term equipment loan program, our Oklahoma Equipment Exchange, or the Oklahoma, you want to be able to search it through the types of devices. And so these are the common areas that are nationally kind of referred to as AT. And it's for communication, vision, hearing, mobility and seating, computer access, daily living, learning, cognition, and environment, and transportation and recreation. So those are those will help you with our website more and more. So I want to stress to you that the individuals, regardless of the severity of their disability, may need and use the entire spectrum of low-tech types of devices to high-tech. And they may need to be changing the kinds of assistive technology based on if it's a degenerative disease or other kinds of things that are going to change or create different barriers as the individual goes along. And that's what we think about. How can the assistive technology reduce that person's barriers to independent living? So we might go with activities of daily living, such as eating, drinking, and cooking, or personal hygiene, and getting dressed and reading. Now, the 3 items that are pictured on the bottom, the lipped plate, the easy pen, and the knife, the rolling knife, we all have available for our short-term equipment loan. But dressing is a big thing, but this is not available. We don't have any of those slats, unfortunately, in our lending library. What other kinds of physical barriers that affect strength and endurance and functional limitations in the area of walking? We could put large grips and buttons on things. We use padded grips and things, anything that would help with leverage. You can see just plain simple Dyson can really help a lot of people if they're using, like Meals on Wheels, and they have their food on a tray and it just slides all around. If you could just put one piece of Dyson underneath it where it wouldn't slide around on them, could help them be more independent in their eating. Also, we deal with sensory issues of visual and auditory. So vision and hearing are a really big thing with Able Tech, and we have a lot of different equipment to help people with those. It's often limitations in perception, it's difficulty discriminating colors, and it's difficulty discriminating pitch and frequency. So for people with vision loss, I've already mentioned, you can increase their lighting, you can enlarge or provide magnifiers, you can add sound or speech, and use tactile labels and output. The hearing, clear visual display, volume control, vibration alerts, visual signals. And we also give people tips on how to communicate effectively with people that are hard of hearing, whether it's just to be able to face them directly while you're talking to them, or you could be, make sure you're facing them, make sure you don't have gum in your mouth, make sure your tone is effective. It doesn't really necessarily have to be super loud, but it does need to be effective. When we have a lot of speech communication, as someone asked, that's our #1 device that we loan out for. And it can help people with either physical or cognitive challenges to speech and language. It can provide people that have no volume or little volume an output for communication. And they can be easy written communication or communication boards. There's low-tech kind of devices, and there's very high-tech devices. Cognitive, I show the cartoon, the agony of getting older is the lady has a recorder that says, "You came into the den to get your glasses." Because as we all know, we get in a room and we think, what am I supposed to get in here? So she uses a tape recorder to help her. But it provides speed of information and processing, a diminished inability to learn new skills, and it often creates lack of sleep or depression, and then memory loss, which, as you all know in working with people, all of those are constant challenges. And so if you can come up with some simple AT ideas to help reduce some of those challenges, then it can help an individual be more independent. There's the iPads and our iPhones and iPods and all those kinds of things. They can provide visual organizers. They can provide auditory cues, voice organizers, task lists, contact lists. I mean, it goes on. And we laugh around here about there is an app for that because generally speaking, we can find it. We also work with computer access. whether it's accessibility operations and operating systems, keyboarding, alternative input, typing aids, voice recognition, or alternative mouse. So also we can teach people about the built-in computer accesses of both iPhones or Androids or Microsoft products that provide, as you all know, speech to text, which every day is getting better and better, and text to speech to text and text to speech, full screen magnification, FaceTime. FaceTime can help people that are deaf now with signing and communication and on-screen keyboards. So I've given you down below the accessibility websites for both Apple and Microsoft. If you literally Google Apple accessibility, it'll take you to that page, and that's true with the Microsoft page too. So what I wanted to wrap up with is that AT solutions, is that there are thousands of AT solutions for low tech to high tech. Devices may need to be demonstrated multiple times before a person will be willing to use it, and utilize the AbleText Demonstration Center and short-term loan. And I'm going to go back to, I know right now there's several of you that work closely with Diana on the exchange also. So if you're not one of those folks, you might want to look at our exchange site on our website so that you can become familiar with what are available items for free. Okay, it's 10:45. I was supposed to be done at 10:45. Are there questions?
There is another question. How long could a wait be on a waiting list? Are partners previously listed programs available across the state? So that's two questions.
Okay, so on the waiting list, it really, really depends. And I'm going to tell you what it depends on is if we get a donated item. Right now, we have a huge waiting list. I think it's over 100, for example, for blood pressure monitor. So if you really need a blood pressure monitor, I'm guessing you're not going to get one immediately. It could take several months. Wheelchairs can be several weeks. And so it depends. And then right now, the other part of our waiting list that's really, really huge is for bariatric equipment, large wheelchairs. For individuals that are over 400 pounds, we have several people on the waiting list. And again, that one's going to be a challenge because by the time that piece is donated to us, it's been used. And so again, if it's not working, we're not going to return, and we're not going to reassign it. So our bariatric and blood pressure right now are our two big ones. We got several donations of wheelchairs not too long ago, and so that waiting list is not too bad. And so, but you're welcome to talk to Katie Woodward at that Oklahoma City number. It's on our website, and she would be able to give you a better feel of how long something could be than I would.
Then the other question was about whether it is statewide. And then we also had a question about, do we have brochures to give out to clients?
Yes, we do definitely have a lot of brochures, and we could even ship brochures to each one of the area agencies on aging office. I could send you a stack of each office. I'd be more than happy to do that. And I'll work with Rebecca on doing that.
The last question was, I live in Tulsa, would like to know more about the AT for caregivers of those with dementia. Would anyone here have access to the equipment to demonstrate? So do we have a Tulsa partner for the dementia or Alzheimer's?
No, but Meg, I could probably work with Meg. If they want to contact me directly, we might try to arrange something. But currently right now, we do not have a Tulsa partner for dementia AT. I would certainly, we could visit with them over the phone and talk to them about the specific barriers and maybe even kind of try to, because we have all of those devices available for loan. So if they want to kind of visit with us on the phone specifically, so we can kind of direct them into some ideas of maybe things they want to borrow themselves or to show and demonstrate.
That sounds good. So that's all our questions for now.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Hope you learned something today.